Evening, everybody on Instagram. I'm super excited. Ratnesh here from Coversity, Aarohi Coversity, and today we have 15-year-old Krishiv who would be joining us, who has been part of Coversity and yep, who's doing a lot of interesting things, and we will get to hear all the interesting things that he's doing. Coversity is for youth. Youth who have explore, expand, and grow themselves professionally. That's the whole idea of Coversity, uh, and this is specifically for youth in the age group of 14 to 21. Srijini is here. I'm just hi Srijini. We're just waiting for Krishiv. Uh, yeah. Okay. I don't know. He joined and I guess did he drop out or something? I'm not able to see Krishiv. Yeah, I think I've invited Krishiv to join. So, um, Krishiv is there. Okay, hi Krishiv. Cool.
Hi.
Good to have you with us. We have Srijini also joining in. Okay. So right now, where are you? Where are we talking to you? What are you up
Um,
to? Just say hi to the whole world by telling what you are up to.
um, Hi, I'm Krishiv, and well, I was drawing before.
Sorry, your voice is a little breaking for me.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, yeah.
Hello.
Continue. Yeah, continue.
Yeah, okay. It should be better now.
Yes, yes. So you
Okay.
were saying
Um,
something.
I
Yeah.
I didn't really get what you asked.
No, no. You were just saying hi to everybody. So just continue that. I couldn't hear everything. So maybe you can just repeat that.
Hi, I'm Krishiv. Um, I don't know what else to say.
Where are you right now? Which part of the world and what are you doing?
Um, I'm in Gujarat, Dharampur right now,
Mhm.
and I was drawing before this.
Okay, so hi everybody, and we welcome Krishiv. He is literally drawing all the time, so he is into, I would say, graphics, comics, illustration, animation. Have I covered most of the things? And
Yeah.
anything else to do with visuals and stuff like that. Right? And yeah, that is a big part of what Krishiv is doing. So, Krishiv, this is all about Coversity, and you have been part of Coversity. So, what I want to start off is Coversity is all about your interests. So how did you kind of come in and how did you see it in terms of, hey, what will it do to my interest, and how is it been for you to kind of dive into your interest and kind of deep dive into that? So share just a little about that.
Okay. So, I joined the Coversity about a year or so ago, and I found out about it because I was in the Aarohi Discord server. And so um, I joined the call. My mom was like, "You should do this," and then I joined the call, and I was like, "Okay, yeah, there's a designing cohort, so I should maybe join it." And it really helped me in terms of um, one, putting myself out there, creating a portfolio. We did a lot of stuff on LinkedIn and stuff. Um, and like practicing more efficiently, like we made proper plans, we had questioning from the guides and stuff. And yeah,
Okay. No, no. Okay, you've gone into the covers, the Coversity part. I more want you to talk about your whole experience of deep diving in your interests. That's
Oh,
the one I think people would love to hear. For we will come to how Coversity has helped you or how you have enjoyed that. That's a separate thing. But let's first talk about this whole idea of, okay, this is my interest, and then you deep diving into it. So how has been that experience, and what all you have done in that, and so on? Yeah, and how has been your life that you are only doing one thing which you really like doing all the time, and so on. Just tell the world about that, because usually world don't hear 15 years old just doing one thing in their life, kind of, as in one category, one domain kind of thing.
yeah. So I've been homeschooled or unschooled or an open learner since I was 5 years old. So since then, I have been like pretty focused on whatever interests me. Of course, it started with multiple interests, but I guess it really narrowed down like when I was about, I don't know, 12, 11 or 12, when I started doing origami pretty seriously. And that's basically like we had an entire plan, what kind of folds I will practice, what kind of models I will make. And I did that for like 4 hours a day, 5 hours a day. And
Hmm.
so that's when it actually started. And then one day I stopped doing origami suddenly and I started drawing. So I don't regret doing stopping origami, but yeah, it helped me know how to practice. So yeah, I've been drawing since like about 2 years, and so deep diving, like yeah, it's been pretty fun discovering how to practice more efficiently and how to improve faster.
Okay. So, 2 years and drawing. So, little expand, little tell us when you say you have been drawing, what all different things you have been doing in that, in this time, in your deep, what is in your journey, what how has this deep diving been? You know, when we hear the word deep diving, we say, yeah, that sounds nice, but what exactly happens? So, we want to know what happened in your deep dive.
Okay. So I started with just drawing, and I didn't really know what exactly was going to happen with it. I didn't have any like anything in mind. Basically, I was just drawing. Then I
Hmm.
started looking at stuff. I started looking at professionals who are doing that. I started knowing what kind of jobs are there, and then after 6 or 7 months, I'm not that sure chronologically, but after some time, I started seriously practicing it. I started looking at YouTube videos on like the fundamentals of drawing and stuff. Then uh, I with Ratnesh here, I did that 1 month, 60 day 60-page comic book thing. So I was planning on making a comic, and Ratnesh was like, "You shouldn't start planning first, just do it." So I just did it. I didn't really like the comic much, but I'm glad I did it. So that was fun. And then I started looking at professions in art, and then I started targeting them. And recently, I've been doing anatomy studies, so muscles, feet, hands, faces, and stuff like that. So yeah, that's been my deep dive recently. I'm also learning perspective drawing, which I don't really like, but I hear it's necessary. So
Okay. And what about the related part, which is the animation and all that? You've kind of dabbled in that also.
yeah, so I've not really done much deep diving in animation. I'm still getting the fundamentals to get nice. But yes, I've done a few animations and just here and there.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, how has that been for you? This is what all you have done, which is great to hear, and it gives us a kind of a picture. But what has that been as an experience? Okay, so this you did, but an experience of deep diving into just your interest and kind of nothing else. I'm assuming you weren't doing much in the last 2 years other than this domain of drawing, illustrating, digital art, and animation, and kind of if I put all of this together, so that's where most of your chunk of time was going. Yeah, am I
Hmm.
right? So how
Yeah.
has that experience been? As I said, I don't know many 15 years old who are just taking up one domain and just kind of doing like that. So how has that been?
Um. So doing one thing for this long is like it sometimes has its challenges, and like I just get burnt out and I'm like, why am I doing this? But then the next day I'm like, okay, I should start again. So I took a few breaks also when I was feeling burnt out. I didn't really think of um like I have to keep doing this, but so I don't think I will still hold myself up to this. Like I can change my interests or stuff, but for now, whenever I feel burnt out, I just take a break, and it doesn't happen very often because I really like doing what I'm doing. So yeah.
So how has it kind of affected you? Srijini, you can ask your questions. I'll keep on asking, so you can also come in at any time and chit chat with Krishiv. Or maybe I'll pause after this question. In what ways has it affected you as a person? Meaning, yes, I'm sure you would have learned many skills and improved and whatever grown in your field. But what has that done to you as a person? If at all you can sense that, okay, this is what it has done to me.
um, they, I need to think. It
Okay.
kind of like so it kind of like just doing this deep diving for whatever time, um it helps me like connect the thing with my normal life. So it has kind of affected in me in the way that okay, I don't really know how to word this.
However, whatever is coming to your mind is fine.
Um, it kind of I don't know.
Yeah, I know it's a difficult question when you ask anybody for that matter. You have done something, how has that affected you? Oh, how has it affected you? Yeah. Okay, so you take your time, and it's not like, yeah, I know it's difficult to put in words, but I'm assuming you have enjoyed it, which is why you have been able to sustain it, and
Yeah.
you have grown. Yeah, you have grown in that field, but you have also possibly that has given you time to understand yourself and your interest and your energies and what works for you and maybe what does not work for you. I'm sure reflection is also an important part of your whole journey. Okay, so Srijini, now you take over. I've been talking a lot.
Uh, I have a question for you. It's which supported you the most throughout your journey?
What?
Which supported you the most throughout your journey?
Which one? Like a person? Um,
Anything? A person
uh,
or a resource or anything?
the most is probably just YouTube. That's
I know.
basically my answer to everything.
Um, okay, so tell a little more because that's interesting. So YouTube has been your biggest support or guide or mentor or whatever you want to call it. So in what different ways? So just share. Yeah, I guess people
So
know the answer, but it's still good to know what actually happened.
yeah. So like basically whatever I want to know. Maybe I'm struggling with drawing muscles for the arms. So I just go on YouTube, I look at different people's opinions and stuff like that. And then just pick and choose from every single tutorial for what works for me, and I get tips. Sometimes I get bad advice, but it's just basically I get a lot of stuff from everywhere, and then just I pick and choose whatever works for me, and yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So, Srijani, you have a follow-up? I mean, you have another question?
Yeah. I also want to ask, were there any mentors or guides that you are keeping in touch with?
So Rathanesh is obviously a guide. Um, there were guides in the Coversity also. Mentor, there was this person who, somebody, I don't remember who, but somebody sent me a link of his webinar on Instagram, and his name is Ajay. And so I contacted him a few weeks later, and I asked him if I could send him my work and he could help me with it. I like critique it and stuff. So he agreed. So I used to send him. I don't anymore. I don't know why. I just lost it. But yeah. So that was.
Okay.
I have a question connected to that, and after that, Srijani can continue. Is that you seem to have connected with actually many different professionals. You've gone to some conference also, or meetup of illustrators. So, how has been that journey? Because I don't think anybody has actually got you a mentor. It's always you who have connected with people. And a lot of people ask me, will Coversity provide you mentors? And I say, hey, listen, we know a guy called Krishiv. He just keeps asking people, will you be my mentor? And people keep saying different things. So would you want to share with the world how has been that experience of asking people to let you connect with you? I heard you had connected with somebody in, I think, Singapore or somewhere, and somebody, an architect, and many different people. So do share, because that's an important input, I would say.
So it's I'm a pretty I won't say introverted, but a pretty shy person around strangers. But at places like that illustrators meetup I'd gone to, and I recently went to this Indie Comics Fest in Mumbai. I also talked to a lot of people there, and so it helps me break out of my shell,
Mhm.
because I'm just like, okay, I have something to talk about with these people. I'll just pick up the courage and go there and talk to them, and it um, helps me break out of my shell. And yeah.
And when you've asked people that would you guide me or help me, whatever words you use, how has been that experience? Share one or two anecdotes also. How did you speak to how did you connect with? Did you use media to connect with? As in, how did you get these contacts, let's call it, or connections actually, not even contacts, connections. Apart from the
Um,
meetups,
yeah.
yeah.
So um, the architect you were talking about, he lives nearby.
Mhm.
And there is this place called Nandigram, where yeah, basically it's just architects and stuff. So my mom took me there once, and she was like, "This is a good place. You can go there." And so I used to go there um, regularly to just stay there and not really do anything much. She didn't really mentor me then. Then
Mhm.
recently, I started getting I started wanting to practice perspective drawing. So I was like, I know this guy. So I just went to him and I asked him if he would mentor me, and he was like, yeah, sure. So that happened. The guy in Singapore was also my mom's contact. She knew her, and I was like, and she one day she was like, I don't know this person. Do you want to talk to him? So I was
Mhm.
like, yeah. And then I talked to him on the phone, and so that happened.
So people just
One is all.
say yes when you ask them, hey, will you help me or guide me? Do they just say yes?
A lot of people like, uh, not everybody says yes, but a lot of like people just say yes to be polite, and they're very reluctant to do it. So I have to like sense who is legit and who is just saying it for saying it.
Okay. And have you also shared your work with them so that they get to know where you are coming from?
Yeah, I
Has that
just
the portfolio part, what you have your account on Behance and different places, so has that also helped you?
yeah, I that's basically just a thing to just show them I do this, and like they have to know something about me, so might as well show them that.
Yeah, Srijani, over to you.
Yeah. Uh, Also, how were you connected with the industry with for the past few years? Like, were you connected with the industry, like doing an internship, apprenticeship, or anything like that? Or how is it? Like, how did you connect?
Um, so like I I applied for two internships. One of them was like a year and a half ago. It was for some nature drawing or something. I don't really remember. Yes, nature drawing. Yes. And so somebody in Aarohi shared that link, and I applied to it, and I didn't even get a response. They were very rude people. And the other one was for this card game company called Swacards as a graphic designer. I applied for that, and I did get a response, and I got that internship. But yeah, that was also a link from Aarohi. So a lot of links from Aarohi.
And how was
But
that experience?
huh. So that was not really exactly what I was expecting. They were making a game, and so I started on that, but they had some issue with licensing for that game. So it basically just ended.
Yeah, but the amount of work you did with them, how was that experience? I mean, yeah, the internship need not be a very long, so whatever duration. But how was the experience of that internship?
It was pretty new for me, like working with them, and um, like it was not exactly just drawing and stuff. I had to like make the content, create the content and other stuff. But I also got to draw, and that was fun. And the guy who gave me the internship was also pretty nice. So it was good working with him.
And do tell us about these meetups that you keep going. How do you find about them, and how do they help you other than you going and talking to people? These conferences and meetup, because Srijini is asking industry connect. So I guess that is a place to connect for these with the industry people, as in people who are doing this work professionally.
So the illustrators meetup that I had gone to is like where my mom works. It's an NGO here,
Mm.
and they're connected with this other NGO called Iktara, and they do an illustrators course called Riaz.
Mm.
So it was uh, a long connection, but a connection.
Yeah.
So I emailed them saying that I'm a 14-year-old, whatever, and they were like, yeah, you can come. So we went there, and I talked, like, most of them were like 20 to 30. And so I
Mm.
talked to them, and um, uh, the main uh, talking points were just like what they do and um, how they get their jobs and how much they get paid and what they practice and stuff like that. So um, yeah, I didn't really ask for any mentors or any um, connection really there. Like I follow them on Instagram, but that's not exactly connection. The other place
But how was the
was
experience? This first one, this was in Bhopal. So you traveled to
hmm,
Bhopal and you were there. So how was this whole experience of being with these professionals? Because you were possibly the only 14-year-old there, right?
yeah, it was like very a lot of fun. Like it was basically like an advanced course for them because they had already done the 1 year course. So this was an advanced week long course. And so so it was a week long course, and so I um, got a sense of what they kind of do. They gave us assignments and lectures and stuff like that. So it was pretty fun seeing like how my art differentiated from theirs, and it was also pretty fun talking to the people and their journeys.
Mm-hmm. And the other one?
The other one was in Mumbai. It was called Indie Comics Fest. I found out about it through Instagram. So I just looked at it and it looked pretty interesting. So we went there. It was a 2 day thing. And
Mm-hmm.
so it was just basically people with stalls and they were selling their comics. These were like indie artists who were not that big. So they were just selling their comics. So I just go up to them, ask them about their comics, ask them about what they were doing. A lot of them were in college or just graduated from college. And so I
Mm-hmm.
just asked them about what they were doing, if they were doing some other jobs or stuff like that. And I also asked 3 people to mentor me. And like not exactly mentor me, but I just send them my work and they give me feedback. And
Mm.
they were all pretty happy with that. So
That is nice. Okay, Srijani, back to you.
Uh, okay. Wait, I just forgot the question.
Okay, meanwhile, while Srijani is thinking, would you like to now little share about the Coversity experience of working with different members in Coversity? Some were doing designing like you, but others were not even. They were some were into writing and some were into films. So how was that whole experience of being with that group? Both you were with them at times online and at times all together. So how was that whole experience?
um, it was really like fun because like working alone in this was yes it has its perks, but working together with other people, like for example when we were creating our portfolios, it was really fun to see what other people were doing. If I came got any challenges, I could just ask them. And it's basically it's just it just helps to have other people around me who have same or similar goals, and
Hmm.
you just help each other.
Okay. Um, Shrijit, you remembered your question?
Yeah, it was similar to what you asked. I wanted to ask like if he was doing his journey all alone or did he had few like maybe some neighbors or friends that kind of mm, was were like a companion for him or co-city stuff or anything that was there.
So except for the Coversity, I don't really know anybody else.
Hmm. Okay. Um, I, I also want to know how do you kind of now you have also interacted with a lot of professionals, artists, and all that. So at this moment, how do you see your like professional future? Not like not what are you planning to do, but more like where do you see yourself going in few years? I mean, you are still 15. You have lot many years to even think in terms of professional, but maybe you are. How are you planning? How are you looking at it? Yeah.
Um, so right now, a lot of things really excite me. Like I was watching this TV show called Arcane, about a year ago, and so it is made by this studio called Fortiche, in France, and they
Hmm.
had this whole documentary about how it was made. So for a long time, my dream was to just work there as an animator or a character artist. and it excited me so much. Um,
Mhm.
then I played this video game called Hades, and it's
Mhm.
absolutely amazing. I love the artwork, and so it's made by this indie studio. The studio is just about 20 people, and it's called Super Giant Games, and they also have a documentary, and I also love that studio also. So for now, I have two career dreams or goals or whatever, and yeah,
So kind of wanting to work with a studio. That's what I
yeah,
see. Meaning studio.
yeah,
Right now you have two identified studios, but yeah, that's your kind of the immediate professional plan right now.
yeah.
Super.
I don't want to
Okay.
work freelance or anything. I want to work with people on big projects, and yeah.
Big projects. Nice, nice. That sounds exciting. So are you thinking in terms of, because to, reach the studio level, are you also thinking in terms of more internships, more working with people who are already doing that kind of work?
So I am in contact with people. So as I said, the person in Singapore, he was a concept artist who is doing pretty similar stuff to this.
Mhm.
So um, I talked to him and he gave me a few things to do to maybe reach that level someday. So I'm focusing on those things. Um, we like did a lot of research on what skills are needed. So like story building and whatever that is needed for that. So I'm just I'll see if I think I want to do an internship and it'll help me. I'll do an internship. If I find a person who might be interested in that, I might do an apprenticeship. So I'm keeping my options open and I'll just see whatever brings me closer to my goal is what I'll do.
So what I can also sense is a lot of skill development is what you are currently focusing on because to be able to do that kind of professional work, you need to have all those skills with you. Is that, have I understood it correctly?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. Awesome. And are you also looking out for or open to if somebody wants to, as somebody has a live project, wants to give you something, some work, let's say an organization or a group of individual or anybody has some work, paid work. I'm not talking about free work, but somebody wants to give you some work, in the field of graphics and illustration and all that. Are you um, kind of you know, game for some taking up something like that?
Almost 100%. Like skill development and all is amazing, but I don't think there is anything that can beat work experience. So,
Okay, okay. One, Srijani, you have question? Okay. One last question. I don't know if that is a relevant question, but because it keeps popping up everywhere on Google, is how do you see this AI thing? Now, this AI thing seems to be creating all kinds of things. They say we can create an illustration for you, we can create script for you, we can create this video for you. So, how do you see that? And are people thinking about, okay, in terms of the skills, in terms of the work, how do you think uh, that is related to your professional journey?
so a lot of people are like doing lawsuits and stuff against it because they're with copyright issues and stuff, but doesn't look like it's going to slow down. So
Mhm.
there is also a lot of news like maybe artists will lose their jobs and stuff. And I don't think that will happen because the only jobs that AI can take away are menial slog jobs, which don't require any creativity or a human touch. Because art is basically you're representing ideas visually, but you need to
Hmm.
have those ideas to represent something visually. And I don't think robots can do that yet, at least. So,
Yes, I'm totally with you. Yes, so that's the idea part is something which I guess as you work more is what you grow, right? Okay, Sujini, you have any last question for him? I've asked him a lot of questions.
Yeah, I also want to ask one question that you asked me before in my meetup, which is what do you suggest or what do you feel about others taking this kind of path?
Um,
Yeah,
what do I feel? I don't really know. Mm, maybe that you should. Uh, huh, one thing that is like very prominent, the first thing that comes to my mind is that, as I said, art is not about making just pretty things. You have to have ideas and some meaning behind it. You can make pretty drawings, they won't mean anything. So that's why my brother is very um, persistent that I should write my ideas down and visually and on like with alphabets and stuff. But it's not just about making pretty stuff. That's what I want to say.
maybe taking a lead from what Srijini was asking, what is your suggestion to youth who are like you, 15, 16, Srijini 16, you are 15. So this age group youth who want to do a journey like yours, like the Coversity journey, where you focus on your interest or finding your interest and deep dive and focus only on one domain over a period of time. So what is your thought for them since you've been kind of doing that for last so many years? So what is you're like a you've been there, done that. So what is your uh, thought to people who want to do a self-led journey?
One thing that I discovered through all of this is a lot of people say, "Oh, your life is so nice. You don't have to go to school and stuff." But it's not really exactly very easy because in school, yes, I don't get to do what I want, but in school there are teachers and people who just force you to do that and they discipline you. You don't have to take any initiative, which is very different from what this open learning journey is. You have to discipline yourself or no one will for you. So
Okay,
100%
so
in sync with you.
one is the self-discipline part. Tell us one more thought you want to share with the youth. If they are thinking,
uh,
should I not, like that.
um, one big pro of this is you get to do what you want without having to do all of the useless things. And so I don't really know how science is going to help me. At least textbook wala science is going to help me in my journey. So I just didn't do it. And I knew that perspective drawing was going to help me. I didn't like it, but I knew it was going to help me, so I did it. So
Yeah. Okay. So you're saying you can focus on what things will help you and not necessarily get okay,
yeah,
super. So so I think that's amazing. Yeah, that's amazing. So thank you, Krishiv. Wonderful interacting with you. Uh, we also would like to talk to more and more youth and tell them that there is an option like what Srijini and Krishiv and so many others are doing, which is deep diving into their interest or finding their interest by deep diving into various things and discovering themselves and going ahead with that journey. So thank you very much. It's been wonderful and yeah, good luck with your studio dreams. We'll soon meet you in some studio with a big
thank you.
project. Okay, thank you.
Thank
Bye bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye.